It just became less of a thing. I became less of an outsider.
He emailed all the partners in my team and just said how well I'd done, like how brilliantly I'd spoken.
I wouldn't have made it this far without my supervisor's support.
Great for me to see people at work have a more human side to them.
When people go out of their way to include you, it really helps you.
It made me feel really included and supported.
Shortly before I arrived at Stephenson Harwood about 4 years ago, I decided to give up alcohol completely. Quite interesting, I suddenly found myself a bit of an outsider. I didn't even realise this was sort of a thing. So we had a chat as a team about what we were going to do for Christmas. And it became really obvious straight away, we weren't just going to go and prop up a bar. So we went ice skating, and it was just a really lovely, inclusive moment for which I'm really grateful.
So 7 years ago, I was a senior associate in the Hong Kong office. At the same time, I had a toddler and a baby at home. So I was hoping that I could spend more time with my little children. At the same time, I could still keep my career. So I made a bold decision and asked my supervisor at that time as to whether I could work from home and work part-time. My supervisor trusted me and supported my decision. And 4 years afterwards, I decided to return to work full-time, and 2 years ago, I was made partner.
After my first son was born in 2017, I remember having a conversation with my development partner to ask to take a month's shared parental leave and also to leave work early 3 days a week to go home and put him to bed. I was very conscious that this would be potentially breaking new ground as a male M&A associate, and I was very surprised that he turned around quite soon afterwards and said that he'd run it past all the other partners in the team and they were fully supportive of the idea, which was hugely important to me because it shows that it hasn't affected my career prospects and I can also prioritise my family.
So a few years ago, I went on a business development trip to Japan with a number of people from SH. I was the only non-partner on the trip and I was the only member not from the MIT team. I did feel like a bit of an imposter and I questioned why I was there. But there were two partners in particular who really went out of their way to include me in some client BD initiatives.
I had agreed to go speak at a conference called the LGBT Leaders Conference. I had been invited to speak about bi inclusion in the workplace. I was out in the firm, but I guess not very out. One of my colleagues in the employment team was also speaking at the same conference about just being like queer in the law. So he was at the conference with me and he attended and listened to my talk on the day. The partners gave me really great feedback afterwards and it was just nice to be seen and be acknowledged and like supported so outwardly, and particularly two senior people.
I had discussions with my development partner in May one year during and after my appraisal along the lines that this was the year that I should go for partnership. I told him that I was pregnant and I followed that with, so maybe we should just delay the whole partnership thing until I'm back from mat leave. His response was, no, I don't think we should do that. It doesn't make any more sense to do it then than to do it now. We can just go for it and we will make the process fit around everything else.
So my hidden disability is called prosopagnosia, which is face blindness. It's the inability to connect someone's face with their identity. My colleagues have been able to help me in my team, so if it looks like I'm struggling with someone's name, they'll jump in and introduce themselves. When I hear the reply from that person, I can then connect their face with their identity. They know how to help by telling them we make the problem smaller. And that's often the case with many things, isn't it? A problem shared is a problem halved.